Welcome to another episode of Love and Reality Podcast. I am your host, Ricky Valero. On today's episode, I'm going to continue my trek through the world of Season 5 of Love is Blind, breaking down everything that happens in Episode 7. This past Friday, on September 29th, we had Episodes 5 and 6 drop. I dropped a podcast based on those two episodes. And then, of course, today, I'm dropping Episode 7. This coming Friday, October the 6th, we have Episodes 8 and 9 coming right before everything leading up to the weddings, and I cannot wait. And then, of course, October the 13th, we have the big weddings. Now, my question to each and every one of you is this. What do you think of this season of Love is Blind? This has been one of the strangest, craziest, wildest seasons that we've had. Drama-filled, past relationships, boyfriend, girlfriend, no, we're not, yes, we are, couples breaking up, couples getting back together. There's been so many wild things happening. It's been a Love is Blind season like we've never seen before. So subscribe. Thank you for listening. Comment your thoughts on this season. Let's dive right into Episode 7. We pick up right where Uche and Aaliyah are talking, her saying, I would marry you. Look, I understand that we have Uche on social media everywhere saying that the truth is going to come out, but this man makes me so mad. They start talking about Lydia and things she mentioned. She said that she wasn't open about things, but he again talks over her. This is my problem with Uche in every conversation that we've seen with him on this show. The man likes to talk over everybody, right? So he breaks down a couple weeks after he and Lydia started dating. She started invading his privacy, and she kept calling and texting. And finally, he said that she felt genuinely remorseful and started seeing each other again after they broke up. Shortly after that, he said he would get messages from people that said she would follow his friends to keep tabs on him. He said she took a picture of his house and said, "I see you." Like, what the fuck is this? Is like that? That's kind of creepy. That really is. He said he started to feel bad for her after her experiencing a loss in her life. Aaliyah said they have a long, extensive history because it was alarming because he was so wrapped up in Milton and Lydia's relationship. Big facts. The problem here is this. Okay, you said what you said about Lydia. Let's talk about you. Let's talk about what you've done. Let's talk about the relationship issues. Let's talk about how you've reacted to certain things, how you've been judgmental of the things that she's done, she's done and said in the past. Like, Uche's not innocent here, right? All right. So she feels, and even Uche would be like, oh, well, I don't know if Milton or Lydia are going to get married and blah, 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 blah. Aaliyah said she found out that Lydia knew Uche would be there. She told the other castmates she had a feeling she'd run into her ex. Aaliyah said, I regret how the experiment ended. She asked where they can go from here. Uche said he still loves her, but doubts are on the back of his head. Like, seriously, they shouldn't. Like, they literally, the problem with this season is, and you'll see, as I've seen all the episodes, you'll see over the next couple episodes, there is a lot of drawn out airtime because of the lack of couples, right? That has been a major issue in this entire thing. So they've had to try to get like drama started or conversation to happen. Uche said he kept trying to reach out to Leah, but she blocked him on Instagram. He said he was ready to ask her to spend the rest of their lives together. He said, I think it's over between us. Tomato said they didn't see that coming. We gave them 10 minutes to say they won't be together. Got it. Stacey shows up to Izzy's apartment expecting the worst, and it's actually really clean. He said he has he said he has a very Hobby Lobby house. They talk about him having a nightstand, and he talks about having a lost and found. And this is where it kind of gets weird. She asked about the stuff in the drawers, and he said he didn't know, and she just wasn't thrilled by it. He also said he doesn't use glasses. She said she's never had red Solo cups or lost and found drawer. She said it would make her mad if he served her plastic cups over dinner, which, I mean, I see what she's saying in some aspects. Of course, some people are going to come out, oh, she's bougie, blah, 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 blah. But I mean, the plastic cup thing is kind of a bachelor type thing. He isn't thrilled with how she's acted. He said, like me for me or you don't. She's freaking out over the lost and found drawer. She finds it weird. And he said he saw it and didn't throw it away. He said he left everything there for a reason. She said, do you want me to see you as a fuckboy? This is the thing. Okay. So I feel like this is going to cause a little bit of a divide here of what people think about this scenario. If he's in the house prior to her, he should have thrown it all away. Like that's part of his past, right? Like she's not worried or cares about anything that's going on. She's worried about now. She's worried about their relationship. There's no real reason why. She said any sane person would have thrown that shit away. She's 100% right. We go back and forth here. He calls her materialistic. She says she doesn't like it. It's wild to me that he had to fire back at her with an insult instead of trying to talk to her. That's the problem that we have with the communication problems on the show that we've seen time and time again. Instead of trying to own up to your mistake, own up to what you did, or own up to the challenge at hand, you're throwing insults at one another. It's just, I don't know. She says, I don't want to be here. I want to go home. He tries to comfort her. Milton's time with Lydia's brother and mother. Milton said he's very nervous and wants to have a good first impression. His mom asks if he is happy with Lydia. And he says he loves her. He loves how it makes them feel like little kids in love. They talked about the work-life balance. Her mother asks about how many children. He says he wants 3 kids, 2 birth, 1 adopted. Milton said every time she would walk into the pods, he would know it was her. His mother asked if they will have kids, if they will be bilingual, and he says yes. Her brother asked, how are you going to deal with her personality? Lydia said when she asks him something she doesn't like, he tries to correct it, and she knows that he has her back. The communication, again, communication. Her mother says a lot of sweet and nice things about Lydia. She wants them both to be happy. Says they accept Milton into the family as the brother does as well. Stacy said last night made her very angry, but Izzy saying staying with her helped her. It's Izzy's time to meet Stacy's family. Stacy's family is loud as she is. Izzy said Stacy knew him like the back of the hand after she called him out instantly. Everyone in the family is shocked that she wants to get married. He mentions not having a bunch of money and he hasn't been able to travel. Her sister pressures to talk money. He left his job, now works in insurance. Again, this is the red flag that, yes, you'll see everybody. He says if they have kids, cool. If not, cool as well. Stacy brings up his place and odd things, including his plastic fork and plates. She mentioned that he stood around in the fight and comforted her instead of running away. Stacy's dad propped up on his fancy car. He said he knows that Stacy lives a nice lifestyle and needs to take care of his daughter, needs to know somebody's taking care of his daughter. He said sometimes love is putting food on the table and love is flying first class. He tells Izzy that his daughter has an expensive lifestyle. Her father said he can see Izzy is a good person and can see the benefits in the experiment. Everybody, it's time for drama. It's the pod folks meeting up. Carter talks JP and Tyler and sticks up for JP, saying that he's Captain America to him. Joni arrives. Izzy is glancing over, and Stacy said, I ain't doing nothing about greeting her. Stacy said Joni is such a joke. So after all of the back and forth inside the pods, Joni and Chris are dating. They met at the airport after the pods and connected over at the airport. And they said that their connection was still there. She randomly starts to cry for some reason. And then he says he's a good person. Izzy and Joni are chatting it up. Izzy said he's glad he had made the decision he did and heard a lot of sketchy shit about her. Izzy shits on her more about telling him about how she said the same shit to both Izzy and Chris. Who cares, Izzy? Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Like, confront her. Hey, nice to meet you. It's great. I'm glad we got a chance to meet each other. I'm glad with the decision I made. I'm happy you're with Chris. I'm happy I'm with Stacy. And we move on. Izzy talks for 10 minutes. Joni kind of takes it on the chin and says, can I say one word? She snaps saying, and just snaps. He said, can I give you advice? He said, everyone thinks you're sketchy as fuck. Izzy said he was emotionally invested in you. I'm glad I didn't end up that way. Joni said, you weren't even listening, and walks away. Him saying sketchy as fuck. Joni goes to Chris saying he talked funky to her, and Chris tried to comfort. Again, I don't understand. Then he goes and brags about calling Joni out to Stacy. Stacy said she could give two shits about her. Stacy calls him out saying, don't be grateful for me because she is a mess, which, hello. Hey, Uche has arrived. Shit's about to go on down. Uche rips a band-aid off, said he wants to chat with Lydia, and she says, I don't want to. Uche said Uche just kind of berates her and said he wants to get to the bottom of the stuff. Uchi's over here talking about their history. Again, who fucking cares? I just don't, he says, like, seriously, I just don't care about their past. Lydia tells him that she doesn't want to talk about their past, which they shouldn't. They start talking over each other. She said at the end of the day, we aren't together. She doesn't have to listen to him, and walks away. Good for her. I don't understand how anybody else is going to take this. I understand Lydia is taking it on the chin a little bit on the internet, but here is this. Uche, you want to come talk to me about Aaliyah? What happened between us? What happened between us? Why did you say what you said to her about X, Y, and Z? I get that. But do not, who cares about the past? We're not talking about the past anymore, bro. Whew, I'm getting fired up already. They start talking. Let's see here. Uche says to Milton, can I have a quick minute to talk to Milton? He said, you can, but we have plans in 10 minutes. So they finished talking about the wild, crazy things about her watching her stories. Who fucking cares? He shows her a screenshot. She tells the camera that she tells the camera he slept with another girl while dating her. She said that they then had the nerve to judge Aaliyah for what she did. She gets loud, said, I don't have to deal with the shit, and storms out and says, you'll never see me again. Fuck Uche. Like, seriously, like, Uche's still trying to pull Milton aside as the episode ends. Like, it's a constant battle. Like, I understand. First off, you owe nothing to Milton. You knew Milton for what, a week in the pods. That was it. You're not trying to look out for Milton. You're just trying to stir up shit and cause a rift between a relationship because you don't have this relationship now. And that's on you. You could have looked past some of the things that Aaliyah did. Did Aaliyah act out? Yes, she apologized. She said, hey, I would like to try to explore this thing moving forward. What did you do? You acted like a dick and said no. So instead of you being in a relationship, you come running and jumped to the end of the table. I don't know. That's it for episode 7. We have 3 episodes remaining. Episode 8 and 9 drop this Friday, October the 6th. I cannot wait for you guys to hear my breakdown of those episodes because it is a wild couple episodes as we head into the weddings. Thank you guys so much for listening to another episode of Love and Reality Podcast. I'll talk to you guys soon.